So you think you got something to say? Well, why not just listen to these two dudes you don't know and collect their 2 cents? Well, 4 cents collectively. Maybe 5. You could make a nickel if they make any sense to you.
I mean, this is all garbage. No one should listen to this in the first place.
Stool with Matt and Nick.
A person who is more like wanting and thinking that they're intelligent, then wants power, then wants all these things to come with, like, because I'm so smart, I should have these things, right? You know what I mean? Like, that's like really what's plaguing like a lot of our society these days. Like, I'm so smart, I should have, but it's like, no, you're not. Like, and that's where like for me, I don't think I'm so smart, I should have these things. What I think is like, I'm so smart, why am I so stupid? And then it makes me depressed. You know what I mean? Like,
dude, same, 100% same. Well, welcome to the Loose Stool, everybody. I'm Matt, sitting here talking to Nick, and I see you sipping on something over there, buddy. What you got?
oh, I'm back to the Red Hook. I'm having a long hammer, not the 500 calorie motherfuckers, but the regular IPA. Delicious beer, 4-pack, $6. Get it at your local grocer. And unfortunately, I'm also sitting here and smoking a cigarette, even though
I just noticed that.
Yeah, and I want to mention a little bit because oddly enough, I don't feel too bad about this cigarette that I'm smoking here tonight, but it's only because of the fuck up that I made earlier in the week. And I did something that you and I have talked about so frequently, and it's when you start to make good habits, you start to feel good, and then you feel so good that you feel that you deserve to, like, you know, like take part in the bad habit. So I was off of cigarettes for 10 days, and I was breathing so good, and my cabin was so clean, and I smelled good, and everything was fucking amazing, right? Like, wonderful. And I'm still motivated by it. Don't get me wrong. Like, it was fucking wonderful. But I got to the 10th day, and I was feeling so good, and it was a beautiful sunny day, and I made a bunch of money early, and not a bunch of money, but more than I usually do early in the morning. And it was like, I'm going to go to town. I'm going to get groceries. I'll get a little bit of alcohol. And I went to get gas. And I literally bought a pack of cigarettes without even thinking about it.
Mm-hmm.
Like, just like out of habit, I'm like at the fucking counter and I just bought them. And because I have my beer and shit, you know, and I drank and I smoked these cigarettes, and instantly after starting to smoke them, I felt like shit about it. I smoked like half the pack, and I'm trying to think where I'm trying to go with this. That one I really feel bad about. Oh man, it's a really hard thing because like I feel like I'm making excuses here, and I don't want to make excuses. Like I did something out of habit, and then I smoked those cigarettes, and what it led to was a week of me feeling shitty. And now basically this is how I'm going to wrap it up. I need to do a reset on the quit, and I'm getting drunk tonight, and I'm smoking a pack of cigarettes to just reset it all over again. Sure. That's what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, I mean, I guess I get that. You had messaged me the day that you bought them, and you're like, oh fuck, I just like bought these without even thinking about them. Like, throw them away, dude. Just throw them away. And I know that's like you and I, that's really a hard thing to do because it's like, well, I spent money, I don't want to waste
it. Yeah.
You know? But
it really was a first thought, but I guess it's just without trying to make excuses. I got back into the habit this week, and then it just and like this is only the same pack, right? So it's not that big of a fucking deal, and I've made really good progress. This is one pack in like 20 days, but I need to just do the hard reset. It's like, we're going to record the podcast. I'm going to drink beers. I'm going to smoke a couple cigarettes, and I'm going to go back to that point. Cause it really, man, it felt so good. and I feel so dumb to even have this cigarette in my hand. But I'll also say that, like, I may have to request a week off just so that I'm not tempted to drink, so I'm not tempted to smoke, because that all kind of like, but we'll see how it goes. That's why you got to listen to subscribe, do the whole thing like I ask you to do,
Well, put it in your application. We'll run it by HR, and we'll see what they say.
Right on. But anyways, enough about all that. I just had to mention it. And I'm already rambling. I'm eating up our precious time here. What are you having?
Well, personally, I'm drinking Franzia Cabernet Sauvignon.
Oh, wow.
Which is why I'm kind of I'm trying to join you on the wine train a little bit, even though you're drinking beer today. Because, like, and I'm not going to go into this, but as I mentioned previously, I'm sort of trying to cut back on drinking. So, like, the whiskey, as much as I dearly love whiskey, I just can't be doing that to myself anymore, because it's just too easy to get fucked up in an hour, and then I just maintain that for the rest of the night, and I wake up feeling like a moron. So, the wine's a little bit more of a slow burn. It takes a little while to actually feel a buzz off of it, and then once I have a buzz, I can kind of just maintain like an even keel without
There's
getting
something about that tartness in the mouth, like on the top of your palate, right? Do you agree with me too, where it stops you from just like chugging it? And I will say I was gonna have wine tonight, but I got fucked over on that. But I don't want to cut off your story. We'll get to that afterwards. But yeah, wine does that nice thing, you just kind of like, wait a few minutes.
It's the same reason I like keeping olives around as a snack, because I only want one or two of them.
That's a good. I do the same thing. I never like really put it to words, but you're absolutely right. There's that dryness that it gives.
Yeah, they're so salty. It's like, I want to pick at something, but they're so salty. I just have one or two. I'm like, no, I'm good for an hour.
Yeah, that's perfect. Yeah. So if that's the, I just want to say this about the wine. I was at Walmart today. And the reason I ended up buying a beer this afternoon was because I was like, fucking Walmart, they got cheap ass liquor. I can probably go get like a couple bottles of wine there for like nothing, right? That was like my assumption. And I went there and I saw these bottles that were like $3.50, but they looked all right. And I grabbed them and I was about to go check out. And I saw they had this big display. And it's funny that I didn't notice this. Like, they did feel a little bit funny, but they must have had like a thick bottom on them, and they tried to make them appear to be full size. It says 375 milliliters. I'm like, that's why it's so fucking cheap. It's a half
like
bottle.
You buying Thunderbird or some shit?
No, it was like decent wine, but it was half bottles that they made look like full bottles, because a full bottle is 750 milliliters, right? So I was like about to go to the checkout with them, like 2 or 3 bottles for the weekend. And then I see this other display, 375 milliliters. I'm like, nope. And then I went to Safeway and I got my trusty IPAs. Because all the other bottles, here was the other point of that. All the other bottles of wine at Walmart were like $12 and up. Where I can go to a much better grocery store and I can get good wine for like $5 a bottle. So I don't know what the fuck Walmart's doing with their wine, but shit's expensive there.
Yeah, you would think that Walmart, I've noticed that too, that Walmart actually is not great for liquor. As much as they tote great value, it's even their store brand. Like, no, I'd never go to Walmart to buy any alcohol whatsoever, because it's actually a ripoff.
Yeah, well, it wasn't. Great Values, like their generic brand. Like, there's no Great Value wine.
No,
and I should clarify. Like I said, I could go to any store. I then went to Safeway, where I get my IPAs, and they don't have cheap wine either. Like Fred Meyer has these really good. I reviewed one in the last episode. Like, they have some really good cheaper bottles of wine. Maybe I shouldn't care so much about cheapness, but I do. You know what? I'm a cheap motherfucker. I'll put it out there. I like value. I like great value. You don't put it on the label, but I do like a great value.
Yes.
Who doesn't? I know you do too.
I'm a frugal man. Lately, my sister introduced my mother to TikTok, which was a horrible fucking mistake. And I wish she never did it. Every morning and several times in the afternoon, like So this morning I woke up to yet another TikTok that my mom shared me. And I don't have TikTok on my phone. I tried to tell her that so she would stop sending me these things, but you can still open them in Messenger if you want to.
Well, and also people don't understand because they're like, well, just download it. You don't understand. I don't want to download it.
I told her that in person. I'm like, stop. Like, I told her I don't have TikTok, with the entire goal in mind being, like, the subtext was stop sending me TikToks. And yeah, so I woke up to yet another fucking, she loves sending me these COVID health tips videos and like anti-vax stories and shit through TikTok, which, yeah, fucking great.
TikTok.
And, yeah, and she sent me one this morning, and it pissed me off a lot to the point where, like, I sent back an angry message, but then, like, unsent it and just reworded it a little bit because I'm like, this is a little hot for 8 a.m. But it was a video that was, it was this blonde, like, probably like 35, 40-year-old woman. And she starts the video with like, hey, y'all. So I got to start this video by just saying up front, like, I'm just a hairdresser and I've never actually had COVID. And like immediately at that point, I'm like, nope, stop. Like, my brain shuts off. Why the fuck are you talking? What the fuck are you talking about? Like, you have nothing to say. Shut up. And all I said in response was, stop getting medical advice from TikTok. That was my nice rephrasing of it.
Oh my God. It's like, I just want to like start taking videos in settings that make me look professional. But it's so like, so I want to start giving like art lessons next to an easel with like, a palette on my finger and go, I know I don't know anything about art whatsoever, but I've got an easel and a palette here, like any like fucking like health, person who wears scrubs, like sitting at the desk, like, well, I just basically type into a computer all day, but I look this way, so you should trust what I have to say. Or just like the fact, actually, you know what, I'm giving too much credit because this is just somebody saying they're not even a healthcare professional, right? Like, you're saying this is just any old person.
And the whole video was about supplements you should be taking to avoid COVID. Like, how the fuck would you know? Like, you just completely undermined any credibility you had at the start of like why you would know any of this is good for you or good for fighting COVID. But let me tell you anyway. And that is the problem with people now. It's like, well, I don't know shit. I'll say up front, I don't know shit. Which I guess we kind of do that with this podcast. But like, I don't know shit.
We make opinions. We don't say facts. That's the whole fucking different here. But like, yeah, not like you're right. Like that's kind of like the age and the day and the age that we live in, where people just kind of look at what they can figure out. And you know what, man? Maybe it's not such a bad thing that we have people that feel empowered to look at information and to make decisions for themselves. Like, maybe that's not such a bad thing. But maybe what the bad thing is that people don't know when to stop. Like, sure, maybe you figured out a better way to bake chocolate chip cookies, but I guarantee you didn't figure out a better way to stop a fucking virus because you're not a fucking doctor.
Yeah, exactly. I don't know. I don't even want to harp on this that like too much longer because like we've talked about it a lot. I mean, everyone's talked about it a lot because it's a huge fucking issue. But yeah, it's just such a moronic display of narcissism to go like put out a video and then like be so unaware of yourself that like you try to seem modest by starting the video saying, look, I'm just a hairdresser and I've never had COVID, but here's what you should do to avoid COVID. How does that not click in your brain as being like counterproductive?
Well, like, really, if you want to see the essence of